It's a Gundam!
I am Super Draco, and welcome back to It's a GunPla, the show where I build GunPla. So we're continuing with the Virtue build, and I guess we'll do some more Gundam 00 slander, but also some stuff I actually like about Gundam 00. So first and foremost, let's just get out of the way the good things I like about Gundam 00. First and foremost, Gundam 00 is beautifully animated with striking character designs that are actually unique even in the pantheon of Gundam. The mech designs are well executed, and with the exception of a few like the 00 Gundam, they actually have logical design and easily fit into the established world. The villains are easily the highest point of the show, with compelling character arcs, and they quickly become the most memorable portions of the show. And despite my feelings on the plot, the direction, and the writing, the action sequences are beautiful. They're well choreographed, well animated, and for the most part, they still hold up. Of course, I say that, and I still watch Gundam Wing at least once a year. Not literally, but periodically I just want to watch Gundam Wing. But then again, most of the Gundam animes have held up pretty well, except for the original. I need to look. I want to know if they ever did an HD release of Gundam X, because I liked Gundam X, even though it was the only Gundam series I'm aware of that was ever cancelled. Anyway, so in all honesty, I think I've burned through all the Gundam 00 slander I have. So first and foremost, so moving on from that, I really hope that Bandai eventually gives us a Master Grade Masurao and Susanoo Master Grade Overflag. If they do the Overflag or even the regular flag, then they can easily remold it into the Enact, as well as give us the Graham Acres custom flag, the Overflag, and then the GN flag, as well as the Masurao and the Susanoo. And I would kill for that, because I don't think they ever did a 1:100 scale flag or basically anything. I don't even think the Throne Gundam's got a 1:100 release, but I might be wrong about that. I'll double check on that real quick. Okay, so a quick search has shown me there were no 1:100 scale models of the Throne Gundams. I don't think that the Alvatron got a 1:100 release. So yeah, I would love to have master grades of that and really build out the universe. And I'm really surprised, given Bandai's love of retooling and repainting, they haven't done a Tieran. Because you could get the Tieran Tau Z, Sergei's custom one from Season 2 that I don't remember the name of, that somehow had a non-GN beam rifle, and I'm just not even going to question it. And that's not even mentioning the heads, because the heads from the A-Laws, You know, they have the standard, the one for Mr. Bushido, the one for Soma Paris. So they got repaint potential. And the ahead, if you undress them, they're just a highly upgraded GNX. The in-lore explanation for this is that they actively wanted the heads to look different than the Gundams, so even though they were using the same technology, that the civilians would not recognize them. So with one arm, with the legs and one arm completed, we move on to the other arm. Build's exactly the same. And honestly, there's nothing really important or that really needs a note from me. Because obviously due to the design, you know, there's no light up features or anything. Although I really think they could have figured something out for the chest. But then again, maybe they did, and my light just being dead, I didn't notice it. Regardless, but yeah, of course, Bandai and the Master Grade line, I've questioned a great many things of how they handle it, because they've got Master Grade Gundam, Master Grade Gundam 1.5, Master Grade Gundam 2.0, Master Grade Gundam 3.0, Master Grade Gundam, the Origin version, Master Grade Perfect Gundam, and that's not even counting the repaints. Those are all just unique versions of the RX-78 Gundam, of which I have, I actually have the 2.0, I have two 2.0s, I have the 3.0, and I have the Origin version. Although the Origin version, I believe, reuses a lot of 2.0's frame. I did not like the Master Grade Gundam 3.0. I did not like how they broke up the color because there was no consistency to the shade of white. But I think we're getting into something different. So, in an unrelated direction, but I guess related direction, you know, I was talking about Gundam X. I always wondered why they haven't done more kits from Gundam X. Because, I mean, the Gundam Leopard and the Gundam Airmaster, at the bare minimum, they can guarantee a remold of each, the Airmaster Burst and the Leopard Destroy. And then, the Versaggio and the what was it? Albatron or something? No, that isn't right. Oshatron or something? Either way, it's the one with the extendable arms that end in the gold claws, and then the one that has the claws like a crab. Because then you got two guaranteed remolds, the Hermit Crab for the Ostron and the Chest Break Versaggio. Of course, there's also a recolor of Gundam X I don't think they ever released as a kit yet. So I don't know what's going on with Bandai. But then again, it's 2023 when Virtue comes out, and they've already done 2 Exias, 1 Dynamis, 1 Curios, the 00, the 007 sword, except I think the Master Grade only got the 7 sword G and not the regular, but I might be wrong about that. The 00 Riser is a set, and then the 00 Quanta. So, like I said, how they handle that whole line is just strange to me, and I don't fully understand it. Now, as always with the Master Grade line, Virtue's build, you know, it doesn't use a whole lot of stickers. I mean, it has all the optional labels and markings, and they're cool because they give a good sense of realism. But when I build a kit like this for the first time, I usually go for the anime look. I'll usually go for the realism and stuff in if I buy another one or I get one to paint, because like I said, I like the anime look. So in truth, I'm having a hard time coming up with any more slander for Gundam 00, which may be a positive thing, given that I spent how many other videos ranting about it. Anyway, so let's see. What do you want to talk about, YouTube? For those who are still here listening, the first Virtue video is out as I'm narrating this. You know, it did reasonably well for its first day. Not great or earth-shattering or anything, but it did good. The short for Virtue did excellent. So yeah, looking at episode 1 only got, not only, it got 21 views in a single day, which for a GunPla video is actually really good. So let's swap over to YouTube. Let's check my dashboard. Do we have any new subscribers? Let's see. Yes, we do. We have First Do Woodworks. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. According to the analytics, I have +4 in the last 28 days. So I guess the rest of them have their accounts hidden. So for those of you who haven't got a shout out, I appreciate you subscribing. Thanks for watching my content. So let's jump over to analytics. Nothing interesting happening over here. So last year I had to stop my Dragon's Den giveaway because of a funding issue. So what I'm thinking is to make up for not doing the second Dragon's Den contest I originally said I was going to do, I think that we are going to do Dragon's Den at 200 subscribers. And instead of $25 or $50 at 200 subs, I think it will do a full $100 Amazon gift card. So yeah, if you're not subscribed and you're watching my content, sub, get us to 200, and there's always a chance to win that $200 or $100 Amazon gift card. I'm going to correct myself right now and say $100. 2 was a slip of the tongue. So right here we're just going to do some lining on the shoulder pads. Just to add a little bit of a little more color breakup to them, but with the Virtue's design, a whole lot of heavy lining and whatnot isn't super necessary. And since I'm doing it on the one, I'm just going to go ahead and do the shoulder pad already attached. And again, you do better with the lining if you have a cotton swab or something that isn't your finger, but you know, I'm clearly doing something. I am not practicing what I'm preaching. So we're on So we're just going to mount the shoulder the same way. I do like how these shoulders mount versus the high grade one. On the high grade, they just slide right over and loosen up over time, don't want to stay attached. And the beefed up arms actually look, they actually look good. And maybe it's just me and my brain, but I like how he's the only one of the main three who doesn't have the exposed connector in his arms for the weapon. Now, it's a detriment to Virtue because that bazooka is heavy, and I really fear his joints loosening up holding that thing. So, let me think. We're going to do some self-promotion. So, if you're still watching, again, thank you. So, self-promotion. So, on Fiction Press, I am currently writing a fantasy story. Check it out if you got a chance. Leave a review. If I may find all the spelling and grammar mistakes I missed and point them out so I can fix them. Which I already have a follower on Fiction Press. So, yeah. But when this book is finished, I actually will either see if a company will publish it or I'll self-publish it. And when that day comes, you better believe I'm going to do a giveaway of copies of that book on this channel. So, self-promotion over, so future content. GunPla-wise, there's something I want but I have not been able to acquire. I want that P-Bandai release of the Age 1 full Glanza, or Granza. I think it's Glanza, might be wrong. But yeah, I have Age 1 normal Sparrow Titus. So I actually want the Glanza. Just so I have my completed Age 1 set. And then I wish they would do Master Grade Age 3, and Orbital, and what was the last one? Viper or something? But yeah, and then the Age FX. Like I complained, Bandai is so weird about master grades. They have so many big gaps, yet they will just keep putting out the same handfuls over and over again. But I guess since clowns like me buy them, that maybe the strategy has merit. Because I honestly don't know how many Zaku's I own just because of character-specific repaints. Well, let's see. Future content. Oh, I do have an Ecto 1 pack I will be working on in the near future. So that will be coming. Now, I'm not sure when. My work is actually going through a transition. I haven't been fired or anything, but we're changing locations, so the work schedule is a little wonky. So once that's resolved, then Ecto 1 will come up. So, changing topics, I haven't been doing a lot of gaming lately. Well, I have, just not. I'm still on my retro kick, but not super retro, because I've been really enjoying Donkey Kong Country. I hadn't played that in ages. Now, on this GN cannon right here, to just jump back to the video at hand. Now, The way the cannon barrels are supposed to slide out, it's entirely based on the friction of those pegs that go into the barrel shrouds. And as you can see, trying to move the barrels is popping the shroud right off the base of the cannon. So, I'm not going to lie to you, full disclosure, I glued the cannon shroud on. As you can see the two little pegs that are basically doing the bulk of the lifting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the cannon from the GN field thing. Yeah, that's a technical term, by the way. And so now, got my glue, and we're going to glue it on there. Had I thought about it, I could have probably put some grease or some oil on those pegs to add some lubrication to it, or onto the barrels themselves, but at the same time, I'm afraid that if when the barrels are retracted, then the lube, oil, or grease would just get all the way down to the tips, and I don't want that visible. And so I'm going to leave it with the cannon barrels extended while the glue dries. And speaking of future content, I will be doing a video on the custom display stand I bought for this kit. It allows you to display Nadley with Virtue's armor around it, simulating him doing an armor purge. And just a little dot of glue, you don't want to go crazy. And I'm just checking my eBay because the stand I had to get from China, so there's also a strong possibility that it's going to include lead-based paint. So yeah, always be careful when you buy stuff from China. So with the GN cannons assembled, and then we're just going to build the backpack, and Virtue itself is actually almost done. Alright, my Virtue stand's actually in Edgewood, New York. So it'll probably be here in, it says by March 25th, so depending on how fast it clears customs, it could be here before then. So, as I'm building this, the small details are why I love the Master Grade series. So I like Perfect Grade kits, I own a bunch of them. But at the same time, the Perfect Grade kits, some of them cross the line to where they're not fun to interact with. Because I have the Perfect Grade 00 riser and I hate it. I loved every second building it. I loved his weird ratcheted joints. How the GN drives lit up. I loved everything, but then put the 00 riser on him, it can't stand up without a stand. The 00 riser has a ton of accessories that you can only use if you take the double O riser apart, put the O riser on the stand, and just have double O effing off somewhere else. It couldn't support the GN Sword 2, not with the way its shoulders were designed. But yeah, I will say it took a shelf dive off the display stand and survived unscathed. Part was because it landed on carpet, but still. But then perfect grades, you have like the Zephyrontes. I love the perfect grade Zephyrontes. Then you have Strike Freedom. Strike Freedom, the actual Gundam itself, the build is excellent. But where it stops being fun is the backpack. Those wings are just needlessly overcomplicated. Because I would have liked to be able to display the Super Dragoons deploying, but the whole spring-loaded geared mechanism I think was unnecessary. I would actually just liked a release button to put them into that position. But then they also cheaped out. It came with a stand, but it didn't come with the option to display the Super Dragoons in flight. So it's like, oh great, if I want him with the Super Dragoons off for burst mode, then that's it. Perfect grade Gundam, love the build. Perfect grade Zaku, I didn't love the build, but the product spoke for itself. I'm just upset that you had to buy accessory kits for both of them if you wanted the missing accessories. I want perfect grade Wing Zero, but I've never been able to find it for a reasonable price. Because for the price that they sell it at, the master grade perfect Geon, or Xeon, but I think it's pronounced Geon, it's bigger than the perfect grade Wing Zero Gundam. It's bigger than it, and still has all of the Geon's accessories and gimmicks. And so if I can get a perfect grade Geon for $100 and it's bigger and better in every way, why would I spend all that money on the perfect grade Wing Zero that it's smaller and does less stuff than the perfect Geon? So here we have the Virtue Gundam in all its glory. And I love this thing. So we're going to move on now into building the bazooka, the GN bazooka. And if I had more time and money, I would legitimately consider customizing a Virtue into her. Because I'd love just to buy a set of Virtue armor to customize into the Virtue physical type. But I don't expect Bandai to ever sell that. The armor or the physical type. And we were talking about perfect grades. I actually think the best perfect grade release might be Zeta. Zeta was super complicated, but there was no point where it wasn't fun and it wasn't overly complicated. Even running the wires into the wings, because when you transform perfect grade Zeta into mobile armor mode, you actually connect wire, I'm trying to think, they're plugs that plug into a socket on his tail binder that connects wires inside the wings so the wings light up. And so you have to run wires and trim stuff, and at no point during that whole exchange is it ever not fun. It's daunting, but it was fun, and intuitive. And that's an issue I've had with a lot of Gundam kits in the recent years, is they're not intuitive anymore. And some of that is in the service of accuracy, but some of that, I'm not sure. I just think it's in the designer just trying to... I don't want to sound disparaging, but I think it's in the service of the designer just trying to stand out. The one thing I always wondered about this GN bazooka is the little yellow bits are for his burst mode. Essentially, when you engage burst mode, the bazooka's mouth opens all the way, and then these little yellow bits fold out, and somehow it's able to shoot a super enormous beam. And it's one of the things where I get the additional stabilizing rails to increase range and accuracy, and probably to stabilize the beam. I get that. But I just don't get how from this little mouth that it produces that much bigger of a beam. And it's one of them things where, like I said, I don't get it, but like, I've talked to death about how how Gundam 00 basically uses magic to justify most of its technology stuff. And now a moment of ADD with Super Draco. Alright, so this bit's on fast forward. Basically, I decided to line the secondary barrel. Now, the moment of ADD gag comes in just a moment. Now, I'm hurrying through this lining because it's nothing special. It's just following the lines with the pen. Now, the reason this bit is called a moment of ADD is because in the middle of this, now that I'm done with that, I decided to bring in Virtue and start lining Virtue. Because, I mean, it doesn't matter that I'm filming for a specific reason, because I want to line stuff. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Holy... Ah! That image I used is from the high grade and not the master grade, even though I literally got it from a website using it as a CAD drawing of the master grade. Oh well. So, anyhow, now this portion of audio is being recorded afterwards. For some reason, my computer started running really slow, and so I just rebooted it to clear the memory. And so we're back in business. So I'm going to go through this with a fine-tooth comb and see if I can fix any audio glitches. So if I miss some, I apologize early. Alright, so it's a strange thing, because I gotta go find my high grade 1/100 Virtue, because I actually think this bazooka's lighter than the high grades. So we're going back to fast forward, because I'm just adding some lining to the teeth of it. Because it occurred to me, I said I'm going for an anime look, but then I'm adding lining to it that wasn't present in the anime. So now we're going to attach the grips for the handles, and then the bazooka is almost done. future content, I've got a free pack from Agora for finishing Bismarck. I'm going to go ahead and put in an order for Optimus Prime because I want that big Optimus Prime figure. Now, so we're coming to the end of this supersized episode of It's a Gun. And honestly, I'm just doing a super episode because, well, number one, I think people are going to be tired of Virtue eventually. But number two, I figure what better way to cap off Virtue Week than a big supersize episode. So, upcoming content after this is going to be something special because I'm going to review the Transformers Studio Series 86 Sludge, and then I'm going to horribly mangle it. Now, what do I mean? Tune in and find out. Tune in. It's 2024. You don't tune anything. Even radios, you don't even really tune them anymore. Technically do, but still. So, in a random tangent, I saw they announced they're developing another reboot of Tomb Raider. Whatever happened to that previous reboot? I actually decided to download it and play it and that series again, because I remember the first one being pretty good and the second one not being bad but not as good. Now these handles, I don't quite like the way they latch in, because they're supposed to bend, but as you can see, it's really not wanting to rotate that part, it's just rather pop out. And wait a second.
You didn't see anything.
So yeah, I'm going to pretend that I did not just screw up and have to take this apart and fix it. I've crafted some new meme segments for this. If you like them, if you actually got all the way through the video and saw the new memes, tell me what you think. Should I make more random memes for these videos? Should I do less? You guys got to tell me what's more entertaining, because I'm only doing these videos for fun. Now, I will admit, there's something interesting about Virtue, that it's got that handle on top for carrying the rifle or the bazooka in a not being used position, but also could be used as a stabilizer. But I question the utility of those kinds of handles on weapons being carried by giant robots, because giant robot doesn't get tired, and usually, and you know, why wouldn't they have storage racks or hard points to mount them on when they're not in use? So it just seems to me that, you know, it's a waste of weight and equipment. But I guess that's why I'm building the model and backseat designing it. And then this bazooka does work. You can open it up for burst mode. Virtue will hold it no problem in burst configuration. So the big test now is just to see if he actually will hold the bazooka in one hand. And the arm is having a little bit of trouble supporting it. But it is holding it, it's holding the weight, and it's balancing, so you can't ask much for much more than that. Alright, this caps off a long video series, a very long finale. Thanks for watching. Check me out on Fiction Press, Super Draco 380, just like my YouTube handle. Thanks for watching. See you for the next video.